Hello everyone, today I will be talking about the sustainable city, Tokyo, and my topic is Tokyo, Japan. So the population in Tokyo, Tokyo population has approximately of 38 millions right now, and as you can see, it's in an increasing trend. And right now, Tokyo's population 2020 is sitting at 37 million, and the growth rate is 0.13 million compared with 2015, which represent a 0.07 annual change. As you can see from here, it's approximately 2015, and when it goes here compared to 2020, the growth rate is pretty low. And some history of Japan. Japan began Tokyo. History of Tokyo. Tokyo began life as a village known as Edo, as you can see a picture from here. And a massive earthquake destroyed nearly half of Tokyo in 1923. As you can see a picture here. And the Allied bombing of Tokyo was just as destructive as that Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Tokyo has the world's busiest metro system, as you can see here. This is all the different lanes and different metros in Tokyo, and metro is being the most people's favorite transportation in Tokyo. And some economy. As Tokyo took over Osaka after the war in industrialization, the economies keep rising. Tokyo is becoming more and more prosperous, and its economy, especially GDP, is far ahead of other big cities. As 2019, the GDP of Tokyo is sitting at 1.6 trillion, and 1.6 trillion make Tokyo the number one city in the GDP. And as you can see the stats over here, it is all the stats that can show how great Tokyo is in economy compared to other big cities. And some economy sectors. There's three economy sectors. The first one is being primarily which focusing on agriculture, mining, forestry, and everything relay on that. And secondary mainly focus on shipbuilding, electronics, and paper manufacture. And tertiary is mostly being government institutions like financial institutions, schools, and restaurants. As you can see, graph stats here, which can compare 2000 to 2015. As you can see from 2000 to 2015, the employees person from primary industry from 2000 to 2015 has decreased, and the tertiary industry has increased, which means there's more and more people changing from primary to secondary, and even from primary to tertiary, which can show from this 15 years, there's more people moving from rural area to like urban area. And a map of Tokyo. Japan's modern high-tech capital of more than 12 million people. There's a lot of people. One of the most fascinating cities in the world. Busy, crowded, and expensive, but always exciting, fascinating. And it's always the heart of Japan. Because it's center of music, culture, finance, and art. The city have modern architecture and looming skyscrapers. The country's political and economic powerhouse. And there's also a lot of great hotels, museums, galleries, and everything you want to find in Japan. And everything is mostly in Tokyo. And for the model, Tokyo is a concentric model, which means the central business district is being in the center of the city, and there's all different classes of residents surrounded it. And with the advantage of that is people can have more convenience to access to the central business district. And the public transportation in Tokyo, of course, the number one rank is always railway, because everyone loves railway in Tokyo. Railway is the most dominant in transportation in Tokyo, which contain 158 lines, 48 operators, and 210 stations. I'll be talking about the improvement in railway transport in Tokyo later on, and some action plan. So the first ever action plan is changing improvement into the existing transportation infrastructure. For example, the area that need to be improved is the railway. So the problem has been obvious in Tokyo's railway. People are getting too crowded in the peak time as there's too many people using it. So to solve the problem, the first thing would be creating more routes and different transportation. Using different transportation, different route to get to the same destination. Which means the first step Tokyo should take is probably use better resources to route planning. So which means people had different choices to different transportation other than railway to choose to get to their destination in a much more cheaper way or a much more efficient way. Second, the air pollution is being more and more serious now in Tokyo, and of course there are solutions. So solution 1, 10-pole solution, which means the city will be condensed so that everything is near to each other, so that people don't have to drive into the place like shops, but use of land to make people living in a better air quality city without the automobiles. And the solution 2, based on the solution 1, walking and biking will fix the problem. People can just rent a bike near the home and bike into the shop. This means the city will be like smaller and smaller, and everything are near to each other, so that people don't have to use the cars to drive it to their place. They can just walk or even like ride a bike, unless you're going to far places you can use your car. And solution 3, of course, growing more trees is a solution. Growing more trees in the urban area to filter the air. The major problem that causing the air pollution in Tokyo is there's less tree to filter in the air. So planting more tree will decrease in the air pollution, especially in the urban area. Tokyo is a pretty condensed and busy city, and I think the most efficient way to filter the air and the fastest way is to grow more trees in the urban area, and which growing more trees is the most efficient and fastest way to prevent the air pollution. Thank you very much for everyone listening to my presentation.